So I was just reminding Liam that, you know, he is a big deal. So I think we'll get started, guys. Obviously, the outcome didn't go the way that us as promoters wanted last night, and Liam, we wish he was here with the belt to talk to you all. From an official point of view, No Limits spoken and lodged our appeal for the matter to be ruled a no contest with the WBO, but also the Arizona State Boxing and MMA Authority. They have a meeting on the 15th of February that we are looking to have that as one of the agenda items to be taken up, and so we don't expect to hear much from them until that date. In the meantime, we'll still be having those conversations back at house, but if we do have any updates at any time, we'll let you guys know. But I'll let Liam do the talking now. I will record this. Is everyone else good? If I just I'll just make Liam the main spotlight, and then you guys can take that from there.
Yep.
Let's hit record as well for our purposes. Is that light no good either, or do you want me to somewhat?
Might be good if you're off to the side a bit, but it depends what else you got. That is actually better.
Yeah, that works.
Yep, cool. All right, here's Liam now for you guys.
Recording in progress.
Hey guys, how are you?
Go, Liam.
Hey mate, how you doing?
Good man, good.
Come back a bit.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, going good. Or good as can be anyway.
Mate, you've obviously had a bit of time to sit back and think about it a little bit. When you look back at the way that 27 seconds unfolded, do you think it robbed you a chance of winning a world title?
Yeah, most definitely. You know, I think because more importantly, you know, the referee came into the locker room before the fight and he said, "Listen, mate," he goes, at 8 seconds while I'm counting, if you aren't ready, I'm gonna call it off. And I said, yeah, okay, beauty. You know, so I know it's vice versa. And look what happened to me. You know, he didn't mind stopping the fight for me. But when it was the other way around, you know, there was well and truly more than 8 seconds given to Navarrete. And you know, there's a lot of fiddling around and buying time. And I know if you watch back on the footage, he picked a mouth guard up off the ground after he spat it out, and he put it in the fighter's mouth, and he put it in upside down. And that was just more time there. Like the referee put it in upside down, and it was just fiddling around. The fighter's trying to tell him that it's upside down. You know, there's another 10 seconds there, and then, you know, it's enough to get your composure back and, you know, at least finish off the round, you know. And it cost me time as well because I could have gotten there. So
there are a lot of things that went against you, mate. Even in the lead up, when you look at the obviously on the scales, did you feel like they just didn't want you to win yesterday?
Sorry, one sec.
Sorry, I'm just muting those that aren't talking because they can hear background noise. That's all. All right, go again, Cody.
Yeah, it definitely seems that way. Like, I knew I was up against it from the get-go. Like, you know, obviously that really prolonged count, and then that's when I knew, you know, I've got more than just a fight in front of me. I'm here trying to battle the officials. Obviously with the weigh-in situation the day before and the long count after when I dropped him, I just knew there was more than just a fight in my hands. And, you know, I got a bit reckless after that. I was trying to knock him out for one shot because I simply felt like that was the only chance I had. Just, you know, I knew I could hurt him and I knew I could knock him out. It's just a matter of if I could do it. And I got a bit reckless and probably wasn't the neatest sort of performance after a little bit. But you know, I was getting desperate because, you know, the whole world's seeing what I was battling.
Were you hurt, mate, at the end, or could you have fought on?
Yeah, I could have fought on, but I was a bit hurt. Yeah, no, not taking anything away from him. I had he had some good body shots, good combinations. Good body shots, good combinations, and yeah, nah, fair's fair. But you know what? Like, it's all good and done to say that I was hurting that, but you know, I shouldn't have even got there because I hurt him.
Do you think you get a rematch?
It depends. I'll do a rematch if it's for the exact same title, like the same position. I would do that back in Australia. I'd be more open to that. You know, I wouldn't take, you know, it's, you know, we are fighters, but it's hard to take one of those hard fights just for God's sake of it. I'll take the rematch if it's for the exact same position, but otherwise, yeah, I don't know.
Thanks, mate.
G'day, Liam. Damien from Wide World of Sports here. Do you think, time aside, you had him well and truly, you were all over him right at that moment? Do you think, that time aside, do you think you had time left in that round to finish him off, given you ran out of time basically with only, 5 or 6 seconds between the fight recommencing and then the bell?
Mate, I honestly really think I did. I think if the count was nice and smooth, nice and quick, it would have gave me another 20 or so seconds, and I really felt like I was one punch away from ending the fight. You know, I hurt him pretty bad. He was already hurt in a pretty bad state as he was, and you know, I know what that feeling's like. And you're always one punch away from. You're basically one punch away from it being pretty well over. You know, that didn't happen, obviously, and it kills me because, you know, in that moment I was so close to being world champion, and you know, it's hard because I was back to myself, saying in interviews before the fight, the days prior, and I felt like it wasn't the fight I had to worry about as more than just the fight. The officials, the way that the whole thing was run, and you know, I was more than just a fight in my hands here.
Do you think the issues surrounding the weigh-in and the scales there, did that add, I guess, some extra spice and some motivation going into that fight? Not that you probably need it anymore, but that, I guess, would have been some driving to really end the fight before it finished. Yeah,
most definitely. Yeah, 100%, because that was pretty blatantly, evident that they were against me, or that it was very evident that they wanted to make the Navarrete versus Oscar Valdez fight. They had a date scheduled for it. I think it was June or May. So they were looking past me from the get-go. You know, after the scale situation, I knew they were out to sort of get me. You know, there was no way that could have went ahead. They obviously done something there. Got around that. Got to the fight. I've dropped him. Should have been over, and they've weaseled their way out of that one as well. And you know, I don't want to be that guy that gets on camera and sound like a sole loser, but you know, it's hard when I just feel like the thing I've been working hard for 17 years just got taken away from me from some guy that probably hasn't even had freaking boxing gloves on in his life.
Thanks, mate.
G'day, Liam. Michael from P4P TV. How are you?
Good, mate. Thank you.
First of all, you've made Australia very proud of you. You fought gallantly in the ring, and all I'm seeing and reading online is how Aussies come to fight and that they're gladiators, and I think you proved that in the ring against Navarrete. You said before the fight that Navarrete's been a bit of a weight bully in his previous fights. Did you feel like you could bully him when you were in the ring? Because I think when you hit him, he certainly felt it. Did you feel that he earned your respect early on?
Yeah, I definitely feel like that. I feel like I had the power to sort of, and I really feel like I could have ended at any time, just as long as I could land the punch. He's a very awkward customer, very unorthodox, and he moves so differently and awkwardly. So it's easy for me to say just land the punch, but you have to actually do it. So that was a bit of a battle. I think he felt the power and the size advantage. But all due credit to him, he it's hard to say, I really felt like I should have won before that. So we wouldn't be talking about this. But here I am saying that, hats off to him. He won the fight and he come back like a true champion. But he should probably shouldn't have come back. But yeah, anyway.
From the outside perspective, it seemed that you realised you could hurt Navarrete, especially with the left hook. Towards the later stages of the fight, you were a bit stationary when he sort of swarmed you a little bit. Were you just waiting for the right moment to counter him and connect with that shot that you knew could hurt him?
Man, you hit it on the head there. I knew I knew they heard him. I heard him twice before that. I knew there was a chance for me just to sort of I felt like, with the debacle with the referee, like buying him time. So in my head, I had in my head, well, let me just land one punch, just wipes him clean out. There's no count, there's no nothing. He's just out. So I was kind of banking on that. And, that's sort of the wrong mindset to have gone into a fight. Rather than just fighting a fight where you can win, fighting a fight using your boxing abilities. But for me, I was fighting a fight where I had to rely on one big shot to just finish this bloke. And, it's not fair, and it's not, I don't want to go in and say it's on loser, but, it's not the right way to do boxing anyway.
Just one last one, Liam. With the official protest in place, this might be a question for the legal eagles maybe, but do you know, can Top Rank go ahead and try to make this fight with Oscar Valdez now while there's an official protest in place, or do they have to wait until there's some sort of result from the protest?
I'm not too sure. Like, it'll be interesting what happens from here. I mean, if the protest happens, maybe it does get overturned. Maybe it becomes a no contest and we end up having a rematch. I spoke to Navarrete last night. He's a few rooms down from me, and we had a conversation. He said he'd be willing to come to Australia, do the rematch if the money's right. So don't know what the truth is to that. I mean, maybe he's really keen. I mean, I think he would feel that there was a bit of injustice done there. When you're the fighter and you're hurt, you kind of know. So we just have to see how time plays, or see how it all plays out from here. It's out of my hands, it's out of his hands. It's not his fault. We just have to see what happens with the official side of things and what comes back from this. But like I said, I would take the rematch as long as it's for that exact title.
Yeah, fair enough, Liam. Appreciate your time. Thanks, mate.
Thank you, mate. Cheers.
Hey Liam, how's it going?
Good, mate. Good.
Just a quick one. You were talking about the officials and the ref, and it seemed like the world was against you. They didn't want you to win. You're still quite young and got 12 fights in your belt relatively early in your career. Do you feel like this is a good lesson to go and fight overseas and in a world title fight, and know that you have to take it out of the judges' hands, and what's required to win a world title and win emphatically, so there can be no kind of grey area around it?
Yeah, I think it's a great experience as a whole. I mean, 12 fights in, fighting for world title, going out of my comfort zone, fighting in hostile territory. That to me is a good learning curve in itself, whether I won or whether I lost. Obviously there's a few things I was battling other than just a fight, I believe. But no, I'm thankful. I'm thankful for the experience that I had. Yeah, I'm experienced. I enjoyed it. Like, I think for me to grow, I needed to experience something like that, and I'm glad I'm in a position now where here I am, 13 fights into my career. I've had a world title fight. Yeah, I lost, but I can go back to the drawing board and I can definitely bounce back.
Thanks, mate.
Thank you.
Hey, mate, just a quick one. It's not the first time you've seen an experienced fighter spit out a mouth guard or do something to delay. How do you view that? Like, it's obviously you know, not the most sportsmanly thing to do, but a veteran's going to do that sometimes.
Yeah. Nah, fair play to him. Fair play to him. I think it was his corner was in his ear. He looked down in his corner, then he spat it out. I think he was in a really world of trouble. He didn't know where he was. When he got dropped, he was trying to grab the rope, and he wasn't really anywhere near the rope. So, like, he kind of was grabbing it, and he was a fair distance away. I really felt like he was in a world of trouble, and you know, he had to spit the mouth guard out. I feel like the ref was on his side because the ref put the mouth guard in upside down. You know, so yeah, it is what it is. You know, he had to, you know, you have to do what you have to do to win, right? And those little tricks of the trade, sometimes they come in handy, and last night it did.
You'd never really know if you belong on the world stage or at the elite level until you get in there with a guy like that. You must take a lot out of it, knowing, all right, I was, you know, 10 seconds away from winning a world title. I belong here.
Yeah, definitely. Sorry, mate. Absolutely. Like, for me, I can't wait to go home, get back into training, and work on all my flaws. You know, like, yeah, I come close to beating him, but Australia see me beating the few rounds after that. You know, it was all in his sort of favor, and that's a lot of things I need to fix up on my end. And I can't wait for me to grow as a boxer, and for me to the next time. You know, I always said I never want to just compete for world title. I want to win it. You know, and last night was so close. So that my objective now is to go back, fix up my flaws, and come back and win the world title. The goal is still the same, and I'm going to win the world title.
Good on you, brother.
Just a quick one, Liam. Do you think you'll have a fight in between a potential rematch if it were to take place?
Yeah, I would for sure. Just depends on what the date is they come back with, or what happens on their end. If there is a rematch, and just depends what date they give us, really. If they give it to us at the end of the year, I could fit in something in between. Otherwise, I'll just wait for that. It just really depends, man. Out of my control.
Thanks, mate.
Yeah.
All good, guys?
Thank you, boys.
All right. Thanks, everyone. Appreciate it.
Enjoy some time off, Liam.
Thank you, mate. Thank you. Cheers.
Well done, mate.
Appreciate your time, mate. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tim.
Recording stopped.